pleasant, good autumn welcome to Marilyn and Friends with WAIN TV. Let's give a round of applause for Marilyn and Friends and WAIN. Oh, it is so beautiful down here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we are just enjoying it because this is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. This month we're going to be focusing on the arts. I have two special guests that they're going to share their ministries with you, and they're going to just be doing some very good sharing with you and talking about how the Lord has worked in their lives and how they are passing it on. But first, I do want to give a wonderful, and I mean a wonderful shout out and thank you to my first sponsors, Darlene and Perry of Perry and Perry Management Company. They are serving Metro Atlanta, Fayetteville, Gwinnett, Cobb, Fulton, and Clayton County. They are brokers. They have property management. They sell, they rent, they lease, and they buy also. And Perry and Perry Property Management, and you have their website on the bottom of the screen. And when you go to the website, let me just tell you now, they are real estate brokers. That beautiful home that you see on that website, that's one of their homes. Wow. It is so beautiful and immaculate. Perry and Perry Property Management. Thank you so very much. Amen. And another one of my sponsors, her name is Marilyn also, Marilyn C. Lewis. She is a CPA Business Services LLC. And Marilyn's website is on the bottom of the screen where you can contact her. And you know what? You go to her website, and Marilyn has over 16 years of public accounting experience. And she has been a CFO, financial director, and financial account manager consultant. She has her office at 5532 Old National Highway. And go to her website and you'll see the commercial that she has done for CNN. Thank you very much, because without sponsors, we wouldn't be right here. Amen. I have two special guests with me. And my first guest is Minister V.J. Washington. And she's going to be sharing some information with us and sharing about her ministry. Before I do give a formal introduction, I want to say that this writer's prayer is that God will bless her to continue to write more plays from both books, pursue some short film work, and write more books based on truth. As her belief is, I can do all things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Amen. And we know that's Philippians 4:13. And with that, I want you to give a warm round of applause to Minister V.J. Washington.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you just put the mic up to you a little bit more.
Okay.
And Minister Washington, you are a pastor, a poet, an author, and a producer. And where's the studio located, V.J. Washington Studios?
It's at 45 Ardella Drive, Covington, Georgia, 30016.
All right. And I told her I have to mention this because this is a blessing. Minister Washington, she has been married to her husband for 42 years.
Amen.
All right, give a round of applause. Give a round of
Amen.
applause. And Minister Washington, I would like for you just to open up and just to start sharing wherever you would like to. And as she is speaking and sharing with us, you are able to get in contact with her. Her website is on the screen. So, Minister Washington, just share with us. Open up.
I just want to say hello to everyone, and I want to thank God for just allowing me to be here today, bringing my husband, my daughter, who is a part of the story. They rose above it all. My assistant, Miss Roberts, and every one of you, thank you. But I just want to say that God has allowed me, He's given me a purpose and a vision to write the book on They Rose Above It All, because I had some circumstances that went on with, I have 3 children, and Tracy is the youngest one. And God allowed me to write this story about her based on truth, because it needs to be known. It has to be put out there for other young people that have gone through things that my daughter went through. Mm-hmm. And so we want to share these situations, because even though she went through trials and tribulations, God brought her out of the worst situation where she could have been locked up for 7 years. Mm-hmm. She could have had 10 years of community service, mm-hmm. and she could have been serving or paying back to the community $500. But God broke that down. He turned it around for her good. Mm-hmm. He gave her, first of all of the situations that she went through. God removed the felony from her that the police who were profiling her tried to attach to her just for picking her up on a speeding violation.
See, a felony, that stays on your record 7 years, but it's even really more stagnated than that.
Yes, and so the truth of the matter is, even though they trumped up charges, God saw fit mm-hmm. to touch the heart of the judge to lessen the charges so that she wouldn't have to go through that. So that's where she did rise above it all. But even at that, this happened in 2001. And though we're still going through, because we're still trying to get the record expunged, and but you know, we're a close-knit family. Mm-hmm. We believe in the Lord first of all. We carry Him with us everywhere we go, and we have a lot of family members who support us in what we're doing. So we're trying to reach out to other young people to let them know that though they go through, God has the last say.
And you know, I want you all to see this book here. They Rose Above It All: Trials, Tribulations, and Triumphs. Now, a lot of times we go through things and we don't want to share because we feel that people are going to judge. How did you get over that? And how did you know that, in what way that God was speaking to you to write the book, to let others know, to let them know probably how to, and then go on and tell us about the play, how that play came from the book. How did you know when you needed to get this out?
Well, God let me know that unless I told it, I was going to stay in my mess. I was hurting a lot, so very often, every day and every night, because I wasn't sharing, because we were ashamed of what happened, though it was not her fault. Mm-hmm. So we covered it. We didn't really cover it up, but we didn't talk about it. Mm-hmm. But then one night, you know, God let me rise above that, and He was like, tell it. You know, it was time to tell it. So I started writing everything down, the situation as it happened.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, that's what I mean to interrupt you, but that is how they do when they write books. They have some people have a recorder, you know, and they write and they speak and they would go on to it. But all right, go ahead.
So as far as the play coming out, I didn't know I was going to do the play, but I had a young man by the name of Ty Martin, mm-hmm. T.Y. Martin. And he looked at my book one day when I went to an outing where he was, and he said, I see something in this. I feel something. So he just took it. He took my book. Actually, it was the first book I received. And he took the book, and he looked it over, mm-hmm. and he wrote the play from there.
And you know, as we were just talking before we started taping, I told you, now see, when Ty Martin, when he saw the book and he read the book, he saw the vision. He saw what he was going to turn, what he's been called to turn it to do. You
right.
see what I'm saying?
Right.
He's been anointed. He saw it, and he knew that he could write that into a play.
Yes.
So, and tell us a little bit about how did you go about auditioning folks for it? How do people know about when you do have the plays where they want to audition?
Well, I thank God for T.Y. Martin because I have to say that he gave me my start with the play. Even though that was the very first play and we have since written a sequel, he did give me my start by just taking the book, which I didn't know he was going to do that night that I met him. And then he auditioned. He did the auditioning, and he pulled everything together, and I produced it. You know, I told him exactly what I wanted, and he did it, you know, with the little things that he may have thrown in, but that's okay because that's what writers and directors do.
There's the vision that you two all just see together, or it just really takes a lot of oneness and focus and anointing, I believe. Tell us a little bit about, so others will know you are not alone. Tell us about that book.
Okay, that's my first book, and that's about a sister of mine who was in a nursing home, and she was being neglected. And I have to say it because we did sue the nursing home because I was there with her almost every single day. The things that I saw going on with her, I couldn't sleep. And I had to leave home. Sometime I had to call the nursing home through the night, early in the morning, to make sure they went in and checked on her because she would just look around at me whenever I was there as though she didn't want me to leave because she knew she was being mistreated.
And she couldn't speak,
And
right?
she couldn't speak. But whenever I got ready to leave, she would say, where are you going? You know.
Have you found out, what's your response been about that book, from that book?
I sold it by hand as opposed to on the at the stores, and everyone is like they couldn't believe, especially the family members, they couldn't believe that my sister was going through that. And that's when, after that book, that was the first one, I was like, I'm not holding back anything else anymore. I'm letting the people know.
All right. We were talking about when you said that how God has stepped in Tracy's life and all your children's life and how God has turned it around for good. I always say Genesis 50:20, what the devil meant for evil, God, he turns it around all the time.
All the time.
Yes. Hear that all the time.
Every time.
God always turns it around. VJ, I would like to, just our closing moments, can you tell us a little bit about the scholarship. Tell us about that.
Well,
how one would go about upon.
Working at the school, in a school system, a DeKalb County school system, I see a lot of children, a lot of teenagers that go through. I work in the counseling center, and I wanted to make sure that someone was able to receive a scholarship to help them out in school, because when they have gone through and they have shared their trials and tribulations with me, from my daughter's perspective, and I asked her, would that be all right if I would name it after her, Tracy Washington Foundation or scholarship, and she let me know that was okay. So we had our first recipient this year, and I plan to let it continue.
Oh, praise the Lord. That was going to be my last question. You do have a recipient, and you are going to continue.
Yes.
I do want to thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you.
You just stepped up to the plate, and I see in you, be also ready, because you have, in fact, on my business card, I have, everyone has a story to tell, and I want to tell it through the media.
Amen.
And you're just always ready to share.
Yes.
Let's give a round of applause to VJ Washington.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And now my next guest is a young lady, and she has the gift of spoken word. She is Venetia Spencer, and she is going to, first I want to say hello and thank you, Venetia. All right. Okay. All right. Let's give a round of applause for Miss Venetia Spencer. Let's hear it.
Excuse me. Do you have a dime? Or a quarter? All right, maybe just 50 cents. You see, I'm just trying to scrap up some change so that I can eat with it. You see, to most people, they are just in the way, traveling the road from day to day, just looking for a handout. And though you feel the need to just roll up your window or just look and stare, remember, if it wasn't for grace, y'all, we all could have been there. So now you feel like you've done your good deed for today because you tossed her all the pennies from your ashtray. Okay. While homeless shelters and city benches nationwide are cramped, but you feel like the system owes you something, so you lie to get extra food stamps. You see, no, I am not a bitter, stuck-up, pushed-up, snood-up woman who thinks the system isn't needed. I'm not angry, just hated. You see, what's the use of designing programs whose creed is we help, when most of the organizers are only caught up in themselves? You see, truth is, most huge donators could care less about the homeless bracket. It's just something else to write off in their income taxes. You see, my mama was a rolling stone indeed, physically and spiritually always in need. But it didn't start out this way. Mama used to come by and spend time every day. Birthdays were special if I could hear her voice, and Christmas and Mother's Day was clearly her choice, and most of the time, she chose not to. But you see, I understood. She would send letters and cards to my grandmother's house. And while some said she abandoned me, I made no other effort, and well, it was cool with me. You see, her hidden whereabouts were never a fear. I'm her only baby girl, so in my heart, she was near. You see, the streets was her fire, and crack was her desire. So for 30 years, her dream came true, and for 27 years, she and I both are still going through. While money to her withered away fast, fighting against the odds, get supplies while it lasts, hoping that Uncle Sam's program would somehow miss him. Taxpayers supported her habits, and for that, I can thank the system. You see, I was taught in grade school that this is the land of milk and honey, and I hate to sound ungrateful, but that to me sounds funny. This society to me is a joke. When the rich get richer and the poor, they stay broke. And no, this ain't no black or white issue, so don't feel sorry for me, and you can keep your tissues. And no, I'm not asking you to walk a mile in my shoes, because the average person would look at me and just say, I'm sorry, but no thank you. And instead of trying to figure out what's wrong with me, can you answer why in 2012 we still have homeless tent communities? So the next time you toss a homeless person your change, don't be surprised if I look at you strange. And though you feel the need to just roll up your window or just look and stare, remember, if it wasn't for grace, y'all, we all could have been there. Because that homeless person is someone's brother, that's someone's sister, or just maybe my mother. Oh
my goodness, I don't know where to start. I'll put the microphone up. Wow, that was really, really very wonderful. So very wonderful. But it just so much you could see in it. So much you could see in it. Go ahead, tell us, share with us, how did you get started? What was the event in your life when you knew that God was using you to do this?
Wow. When I first realized it, I would say to be honest, it's kind of twofold. When I was in the 3rd grade, I used to play on the soccer team. Mm-hmm. And my position on the team, I was the goalie. And on this day, someone called my name. We had maybe like a few minutes left in the game. I look away, the other team scores, and I was so distraught. I remember going back to class, and I sat inside, and I didn't want to talk to anyone. I was just crying. My teacher put me off to the side. She said, Juanita, she said, just talk to me. It's okay. I'm like, it's not okay. I don't want to talk. And so she did something. She took a piece of paper, and I had my head on my desk, and she slid the paper to me. And she said, if you don't want to talk to me, she said, you can talk to this paper. She said, and the paper will listen, it won't interrupt you, and it won't talk back. And so I took that sheet of paper and I wrote, I hate soccer probably 175 times. That's the only thing I said was, I hate soccer, I hate soccer, I hate soccer. But then after that, it put me in the mode of whenever I was upset, whenever I felt like I had something to say, it turned from I hate soccer to, well, today I feel, this, that, and the third. And after that, that's what really motivated me to really start writing down my emotions and my feelings. So kind of started in third grade, I would say.
I bet, all right, it's third grade, but we're talking, this has carried you on through, you are an adult woman, and I can just imagine all the things that has experiences, positive and negative, that have happened in your life. And do you have a journal, a booklet?
I do. I actually have all of my original journals from when I was a little girl. I kept them all. I still have them.
All right, and on your screen you can see where you would be able to contact her for bookings and for if you would like her to come and do some spoken word with you. Now, Miss Spencer, you are described as a dynamic poet, and that is an understatement, and a spoken word development coach. Tell us what that is.
Okay. I often work with, there are some artists that they have the words, they know what they want to say, but sometimes you struggle with the delivery aspect. And so that's where I step in. So I've actually worked with some poets as far as really conveying to the audience what's there on the paper.
Okay. All right. And now, as you did say, you had a passion for this at a very early age. And the uniqueness of your delivery style, I wrote in my notes that is what makes you who you are. That is what people see and hear. And you know what? This is what I want to ask you about. You want to get your audience to hear the topic from a new perspective.
Yes.
All right. Help me say this. I wrote down here. Okay. Now, everyone listening to that spoken word, they have a different interpretation. While you were speaking, I'm telling you, I was just having flashbacks. I could relate to everything. Now, is this what you want to do? Is this the delivery that you have? And is this how do you get people to see it from a new perspective? I guess what I'm saying is everyone is seeing it and hearing it from their perspective. Is that what you want them to do? Or is it from a new perspective?
I would say for instance, with that piece, dealing with homelessness, I think a lot of times, we think about certain topics and we have just one thought about it.
Yes.
Some people, they say, okay, homeless people, they don't want to work, they're lazy, and they're all on drugs, or whatever the situation is. And I think just by me being obedient to God, as far as giving it, sharing it exactly the way that He gives me, and being comfortable with being transparent, it would help them. If they did see it in only one perspective, they can actually look at it and say, well, wow, I never thought about it like that. I never thought, okay, well, maybe someone may be dealing with some other issues out there. And again, just using that piece as an example.
And I have a radio show that I've had for about 13 years, and the Lord, He laid it on my heart to I wanted to do a series on veterans. And I started reading, going to the library, doing research, and going, on the computer, and actually just going to Barnes and Nobles. I got 5 minutes. Barnes and Nobles, and just being around the section, and I would interview different people. And even my brother told me that 85% of the homeless are veterans. 85%. That's a staggering amount. And they all have a story that needs to be told. Isn't that staggering? Well, Wanisha, we are very much at the close of Marilyn and Friends. If you would, please go back up to the stage, and you're going to close us out. And what's the name of this one?
This piece is titled, I'm Ready.
Okay. All right. Let's put our hands together once again for Miss Wanisha Spencer.
After praying and crying, after praying and crying, so you act like you don't hear me. After praying and crying, all night long. I began to realize why I felt alone. You see, I was setting my hopes on material things, knowing that my father was displeased, but nevertheless, I still continued. I continued to go to God with all of my wants and needs, but not once did I fall to my knees just to say, God, I thank you. But Father, something happened to me tonight. It's as if you reached down from heaven and you cut on my spiritual light because my vision, it seems clearer. And to you, I want to draw nearer. You see, I know I'm not the first, but I will be the next to say that I am tired of living this double life, always having to think twice about my decisions because I am grown and I should just know better. But now it's time to be real. And if it means standing alone on the outside skirts of the world, then hey, I'm cool with that. You see, I didn't reach this conclusion overnight. After one too many lies, one too many spies, and one too many club scenes, I began to realize that that lifestyle just wasn't for me. And though I've been told that I am young and it's okay, my peers are steadily dying around me every day. So just as sure as God has created thunder, I find truth in the saying that age ain't nothing but a number. You see, I don't have a problem with keeping it real because maybe there's somebody else who feels the way I feel, whose mission is just to strive for excellence. And though I may get talked about and possibly even criticized, my judgment maker lives in the sky. So as long as he allows me to just walk on and press on from day to day, you can talk about me and that's okay. Because his grace is falling down on me like April showers. And now that I prayed, I know I got power. Okay. And your opinions, well, they no longer matter. You see, I know that I'm not perfect and that I can't deny, but there's a charge to keep. I have and still a God to glorify. So my question to you, what is it to stand in the midst of adversity? You see, I'm not asking you to yell my name or snap your fingers. Just listen attentively. You see, we all choose to stand for different reasons, and whether it's for a moment or for a season, the choice is yours. How easily we forget what trials and obstacles are really meant for. Instead, fame and self-glorification we hoard simply because we're just greedy like that. Self-conscious that the stone you throw is already on its way back. Not to hit you, but those standing around like alley cats looking for the next bag of garbage to rummage through. So what is it to stand in the midst of adversity when running seems like the best thing that you could do? Put your face in a hole and hide and knock down those who wish to stand by your side, all because you're crying, you're afraid, you're scared, and you think nobody knows it. But you know, I went to sleep one night and I prayed for understanding, and I now realize that the race wasn't given to the swift or the strong, but to those who endure to the end. You see, the business is unfinished and laborers are few. Time out from the revolution, because the solution starts with you. If you took time to step outside of your comfort zone, you stop to realize how alone you really are. So will you stand? Will you stand when you're told to your face that you won't make it? And no matter how hard you try to fake it, you know that it's eating at your soul. Will you stand when the Lord tells you to say it? Even if the platform in which you stand is before a crowd full of atheists. This is my roll call. Child, mother, daughter, sister, son, or brother. You gotta stand, plant your feet firm, and if you choose to walk, jog, or run, go ahead, because the foundation is unshakable, it's unmovable and unbreakable. You see, I don't know if you can tell, but people are dying every second and are slipping into hell. How many people this week will you tell about Christ? And yes, that was supposed to make you think twice. So like I said, the business is unfinished and laborers are few. Get ready to go to war, y'all. We got some serious work to do.
Ooh. Oh, that just takes my breath. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? That is such a blessing. It's such a blessing, and God is He's gonna take you far. You have the heart to do it, and as you say, every day, every second, there's souls slipping into hell. Thank you so very much again, and I want to have you back. All right, let's give a round of applause for both of our guests. Oh, thank you so very much, and the time just goes by so fast. And once again, I want to say thank you to Minister V.J. Washington and Wanisha Spencer. And you have been in tune for the last 30 minutes to Marilyn and Friends. Thank you so very much again. And once again, a shout out to my sponsors, Perry and Perry Property Management. And Marilyn C. Lewis.